98 Not Out, sponsored by Shepherd Neame, proud supporters of cricket in Essex.
Please, Walking on the Moon. Now, really pleased to say joining us on the line this evening is first-class umpire Ben Debenham. Ben, how are you?
Very good, Brett. Thank you. Yes.
Cool. You got me and Darren here this evening. Ben, now you are taking part. We saw it released earlier on this week. You're taking part in the first-class walk. Do you want to explain to everyone what that is?
Yeah. The first-class umpires employed by the ECB. There's 33 of us, and we sort of wanted to do something, as we're not able to umpire cricket at the moment, do something worthwhile and something to occupy our time. We were told that over a season we cover a distance of 9,436 on-field miles.
Wow.
And so we're also told that's equivalent to the distance from Old Trafford to Lahore and then back to Old Trafford again. So what we decided to do as a group is we're all logging sort of miles. You can cycle. That's obviously a lot easier than walking. Cycle and walk and try and cover that distance. We started on the 1st of June and we're trying to do this sort of sometime in early September.
And how far are you all up to? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I think we've so far we're on target to meet the 9,000 odd miles at the start of September. I think we've done about 1,500 so far. So yeah, I suppose it's not quite as easy at the moment in the heat. Hopefully we'll get back and do some umpiring. A couple of our chaps, Alex Wolf and Michael Goff, started umpiring yesterday. That's the first umpiring that any of our group have done. They're umpiring a West Indies warm-up game at Old Trafford, and any miles that they log on field as well will count towards the task. So yeah, it's all on schedule. And what we're doing, of course, is we're trying to raise some money. So we've got 3 charities that we've chosen: the British Asian Trust, who are affiliated with the ECB, trying to promote Asians
Prince
to
Charles
play
is involved
cricket.
with that, isn't he?
Sorry?
Prince Charles is involved with the British Asian Trust.
He might well be,
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, they say that one of the ECB sort of main charities. We've got the Cricketers Trust, which is the arm of the PCA that looks after professional cricketers once they've retired. Obviously, most of the people who are first-class umpires are members of the PCA as they're ex-cricketers, and also prostate cancer. So, yes, if anyone wants to sort of support what we're doing, just go to Just Giving. If you link to First Class Walk, that'll give the information of how to donate to the charities, which obviously would be appreciated, and that's what we're trying to do to get some sort of worth out of it at the end. We've also, the walks that we're doing are being followed, or you can see what we're doing on Facebook. People are doing different types of walks, different things to try and build a bit of interest, doing videos, sort of responding to each other's videos. And again, the link First Class Walk on Facebook and also on Twitter. I think that's called @FirstClassWalk.
At
And
Class
we're
Walk
getting
it is
quite a
on
bit,
Twitter.
right? Yeah, well, and we're getting a bit of coverage. So, yeah, hopefully people will look and see what we're doing and try and support it.
The videos are really good. I'm following this, and it's actually quite a good advert for the English countryside, given that this is the year of the staycation. And one that caught my eye was the one that David Mills put out from on high up on a hill in Derbyshire,
Right.
and where there's some preserved wreckage of a World War II bomber up there, and it all looks really good. Obviously, the weather helps, but it's a fantastic cause and some really worthy charities that you're supporting there.
Yeah, well, we hope so. And as I say, we feel we obviously want to be umpiring cricket. That's what that's what we should be doing. And yeah, it's nice to have a focus on doing something else, I suppose. Hopefully, we'll get back to doing some cricket. But rather than just sort of sit at home and not exactly do nothing, but at least we've got an aim and a focus of something that hopefully is worthwhile.
Now, I've just had a quick look at the Just Giving page. You're aiming to raise £1,100. You're at £520 already, so doing quite well. We will share that and get it out for you as well.
Absolutely.
And I'll get Darren to make a donation, as he's the rich one out of us too as well.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Who's clocking up who's clocking up the big miles, or are you all sort of fairly even, or is it?
No, actually, yeah. I think, as I say, I think people who have got a bike are probably cheating a little bit and clocking up the miles. I think David Mills has got a bike, so I think he's got quite a good mileage. one of our chaps, Hassan Adnan, I think he's in the lead at the moment, and in fact his parents live in Lahore, so maybe he's thinking, he's going to get a real ticket back to see them if he clocks up the most miles. But there's a little bit of competition, but I think it's a bit unfair on the people who are walking only. Maybe there should be a separate competition, one for bikes and one for walking.
Biking does seem to be a theme of lockdown. We had Laurie Evans, the Sussex batsman, on the other week, and he's taken up biking seriously with lockdown. But then he's got Matt Pryor there, who's providing serious competition.
Yes, he does a bit of cycling, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But no, you're right. Maybe it's something that's ongoing that people can. Having done a walk, maybe there is a cycle challenge for those amongst you that are cycling to be done at the end of this or another time.
Well, we're sort of, we're sort of open to any ideas really. We feel a bit guilty not doing anything, sitting at home when we should be working. But yeah, it's something nice to focus on.
Having looked at the map, you have got to maybe cross some water, so maybe get one of the guys swimming as well.
I think that swimming does count, but you definitely want to at least double your miles, wouldn't you, if you're swimming? If you go as the crow flies to Lahore, there's a few sort of odd venues along the way, which might be a little bit challenging. So maybe sticking to the English countryside, and of course the Welsh countryside, because one of our chaps, Jeff Evans, he lives the other side of Swansea, and he's been doing a lot of videos, doing a lot of walking around Wales, and sort of contributing a lot to the humour of the videos.
Yeah, him and Neil Baynton appear to be going at one another slightly. I never knew Neil was quite into nature so much.
I didn't realise he was into nature. I didn't realise he was. Yes, well, I know he's been sort of doing a few walks up and down Halstead High Street, and he's. I did see one where he's focusing on going to the Bakers or something, which is probably a normal walk that he might undertake. But he's gonna come back ready, sort of lean and ready to go.
No, it should be good. Now, talking of coming back to cricket, we've obviously been chatting to a few players about how they're going to sort of get prepared. I guess you guys are going to need some sort of preparation as well to get sort of your eye back in and that sort of thing.
Well, that's true. I mean, normally in a season we would, it's quite a bit of prep work goes into a season, and you get the opportunity to do certainly some friendly games, if not, friendly games between counties and first-class friendlies with university games, which obviously aren't going to be taking place this year, although it's definitely not that easy to go straight into a game without having done any sort of warm-up matches. But I think the way things are at the moment, we would just be grateful to get out there and start umpiring and watching a bit of cricket. That would be fantastic.
Were there any new rules or regulations that were scheduled to come in for this season?
Well, no, of course, we were due to have the 100 tournament, which is a whole load of new rules and regulations, which we were sort of looking at quite closely. But the start of that's been postponed until 2021. But no, not that I can think of. There's always a few sort of minor tweaks, but nothing too important. I don't think. Nothing that probably any spectators would really notice.
A few more drinks breaks, maybe.
Well, that's you might certainly in this weather. You'd need plenty of those, wouldn't you? But yeah, cricket's always had drinks breaks sort of built in, isn't it? Which is quite an important part of cricket's always important for the sort of social aspect, isn't it? So yeah.
Well, I think also from what we've seen in football, these enforced halfway through each half, they have to stop and rehydrate, and I would imagine there may be a greater frequency of it on the cricket field.
I suppose if we do get back playing some cricket or even watching some cricket, let's hope the weather stays as it is now. That would be great. It's such a shame with this fantastic weather we've been having and no cricket. It seems very strange.
We all know it's going to rain, don't we? As soon as the first test starts.
I didn't want to say that, but yes, if we get back, the first date they'll set back, that'll be it, won't it?
Well, I think the first test is only, a couple of weeks away now, isn't it? So that will probably be the key moment for the heavens to open.
That's right.
I think they call that sod's law, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Just thinking about, obviously we don't know, and we have to keep stressing this, that nothing's been decided, nothing's set in stone, but if we assume that there will be a cricket season starting at some point, whether it's July the 4th or whatever, I think there is a general expectation that it will be a prolonged season and that we'll be going through September and possibly into October. Do you see major problems with that? I mean, I know we want to get as much cricket in and play as much as we can at all levels, but is that getting too late in the year, especially October?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously an argument for that. I mean, I know the last couple of years, actually, when we finished playing cricket, which has sort of been around 25th, 26th of September, the weather's actually been quite good, and the weather has stayed good into the start of October. But it's certainly going to be an issue, no question about that. And if we played a T20 tournament, I mean, obviously no one knows whether that's going to happen or whether there's going to be crowds. But if there were, and floodlit games that time of year are always a problem. You get the dew coming up and the cold. So no, it is an issue. But I think it's obviously important to try and, if one is allowed to play, to try and make the most of it and get as much in as you can. Hopefully, everyone will appreciate that. Even if it's a bit cold and not quite ideal, that everyone will make the most of it.
So Ben, getting back to the first class walk, what have you got planned coming up? You got some events or some walks or some cycles?
I am. Well,
you're
tomorrow
be
actually I'm staying with a colleague of mine, Chris Watts, who's coming down from Norfolk, and we're cheating tomorrow because we're going on a bike. But we're going to start at the Olympic Stadium in Stratford, and then we are going to cycle to Lords, and then to the Oval, and then back to the Olympic Stadium.
It's quite a nice route there. You can follow the canal round, can't you?
We're gonna do the canal. That's a good ride. That hopefully won't be too crowded tomorrow. Yes, the canal from Hyde Park it's via Hyde Park from the Olympic Stadium to Lords is a great route. It's not quite so easy probably from Lords to the Oval and then back.
It's Regent's Park, is it? Or...
Sorry?
Is it Regent's Park?
Yeah, Regent's Park.
Regent's Park, not Hyde Park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Regent's Park by Lords, isn't it? But
Sorry.
You do go through Hyde Park on that route.
But it's still a lovely ride anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a good ride, and yes, we're going a bit later on in the evening. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit cooler, and there'll be a few less buses around, and we'll see how we go. So yeah, that should be fun.
And then any big walks next week? Are you got anything planned yet, or are you just thinking to see what the weather's like first?
No, well, in fact, I don't mind the weather. I'll be doing a few walks and a few rides. Yes, try and keep out of trouble. I did a nice walk last. I went 26. My son Barney suggested that we walked 26.2 miles, which is a marathon. So we walked from where I live in Shenfield to the ground at Chelmsford, and we sort of circled around a bit to get up to 26.2 miles and back. We've possibly bit off a bit more than we could chew there, but it was a great thing. It was great fun all the same.
I know. It's funny. You're not too far from us because we're obviously based in Brentwood. So hopefully when this is all over and we can have guests back in the studio, maybe you'll come in and say hello and we'll have a bit of a longer chat. Yeah, sure. No, it's it's always nice to see how tell people how the umpires are getting on. A bit of a sort of keeping a low profile in cricket is important for the umpire, but I suppose at the moment we're just trying to sort of so people can try and remember who we are and that's it really. It's that's a great idea.
It is important, and we have had what we try and do on the show is keep all participants of the game involved. So, and you're absolutely right, umpires are always really good and interesting to have on, so we definitely have you in here, and Brett will either make you a cup of tea at some point, you never know.
Yeah, sounds good.
Darren's definitely a tea boy. Ben, thank you very much.
He's got the tea and don't forget the Just Giving donation as well.
No,
don't worry.
We'll definitely talk that. We'll put it on our Facebook page for you as well, and we'll send over the links for the interview. So you guys will be more than welcome to use it and helpfully promote. And maybe a few of the pro lads will stick a donation in if they're allowed to, without it seeming as trying to bribe an umpire going forward.
Yes, that's it. I'm sure they would. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll twist a few arms. Ben, thank you very much. Have a great rest of the evening, and thanks for coming on.
All the best.
Okay, well, no, thanks for the invite, and thanks for the opportunity to sort of spread what we're doing and try and get some money behind the causes.
No problem at all.
Enjoy.